Jeff, throwing it to you in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we'll be talking to one of the global leaders of an organization that encourages Christian men to live out their faith at work Monday through Friday. That's just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, we all know this feeling. If you're a person of faith, you go to church, mass, synagogue over the weekend, and there's one set of rules, and then you go to work Monday through Friday, and there's a completely different set of rules. To talk about that today, Jeff Swan, he is one of the global leaders with the Christian Businessmen's Connection. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me here, Jeff.
Well, I was really impressed, Jeff, that this organization's been around for a long time. Tell us the history.
Well, it started 90 years ago in Chicago during the Great Depression, where a small group of Christian businessmen saw other businessmen just filled with despair, jumping out of windows, and they thought, how can we offer some hope, the hope of Jesus Christ, to these men who most likely wouldn't feel comfortable walking into a church? So they started hosting breakfast and lunch meetings with a speaker from the business world who shared what the Lord meant to him. And it grew and grew, spread from Chicago to New York to San Francisco, spread internationally, and we've been going strong for 90 years.
Outstanding. Well, there's a wonderful overview video. Let's go ahead and roll that now.
Have you ever known something that you just couldn't wait to share with someone? That's exactly how I feel about what I'm going to tell you. Men, are you living a purpose-filled life? One that you feel God is calling you to? Because if your answer is no, then you're probably right where I used to be. What if I told you that there was a band of brothers that stands ready to encourage, challenge, and equip you to live that kind of God-filled life? I'm David Myers, president of CBMC, the Christian Business Men's Connection. If this sounds like you, what do you have to lose? We have the tools to help you make the connections and begin living a transformed life. I've been where some of you are, trust me. You're a lot closer than you think to where you want to be, and we can help you get out of the bleachers and onto the field. Contact us today at cbmc.com. We'll be waiting for you.
Very cool. And Jeff, it occurs to me that this organization started in 1930 during a tough time. Mm-hmm. I can't think of a more tough time than the time we're in right now. 2020 was a brutal year. A lot of men out there, business leaders, are anxious, are nervous. Tell us about the benefit of joining.
Well, one of the benefits is explained in our name. It's a connection with other men who have a similar worldview, similar passion for both their faith and business. So connecting with guys like that isn't necessarily easy to do, but with CBMC, we make that easier.
And you have like mentorship opportunities?
Correct. And then once you get connected, some people would like to have a mentor. Some people would maybe want to be a mentor, and we have excellent tools and curriculum and training programs to help you do that.
Yeah. Well, I have to ask the question. It's a men's organization. Why no women?
That's a good question. We do get asked that, but we've found that men are a lot more honest and even, shall I say, vulnerable with what's really going on in their lives when they're just around other men. And they say things, they bring up questions, they bring up concerns that they wouldn't feel comfortable doing if they were in a mixed company setting.
Absolutely. And part of your role is you're a gift officer. Explain that.
Correct. So my job is to raise money to keep the organization going, and I do that nationally, coast to coast. And we have international chapters that do that themselves, but I'm responsible for helping to raise money to keep the national organization going.
Let's talk more about the experience once somebody does join. Are there physical meetings or virtual meetings, or how does it work?
That's a good question. We have both. And we started with physical meetings. We prefer physical meetings. We have them going on in cities all around the country, over 450 cities right now. We've got a goal to expand to 650 markets in the next couple of years. We're making progress. But we also have virtual meetings. We have Zoom meetings and podcasts that people might want to watch, videos. My favorite one is our fellow in South Florida has a cigar Zoom fellowship.
Oh, cool.
Every 3 weeks, and people join from their patios smoking a cigar.
I love it. We're going to show a page off of your website to show just how vast this organization is, and we're going to scroll down to show Texas. I imagine that it's kind of a unique fraternity where you find brothers all over the planet. Is that accurate?
That is correct. And one of the things that people like most is that brotherhood. Maybe they haven't seen each other all year. They get together at the annual convention, and they share a sense of purpose, a sense of shared values, and we want it to be very welcoming. You know, fraternities are great, but we want to be a welcoming fraternity that anybody can drop in and become a part of.
Yes. Tell for the person who's watching this, say, you know, I'm interested. What would be the next step? I mean, do they contact you, or how do they get involved?
They could go to our website. That's probably the best way, cbmc.com, and find out where their local chapter might be meeting. They could also reach out to me personally, and I would tell them who to get in touch with. That's the first step, really, to get involved.
Yeah, and I'll just say to the audience that follows me that there's never a better time to get plugged in than during a time of economic uncertainty. This is the time, there's an old saying, you got to circulate to percolate. This is a very good time to be networking, and when you can network with people who are like-minded, that is just so valuable, right, Jeff?
It sure is, and I think that's a good point, that we are a faith-based organization. We care about our faith, but we also care about business. And so we're one of those networking organizations that wants the members to talk about business.
Yes.
We're not just talking about mission trips overseas and, you know, spiritual things. We're breaking down that spiritual sacred divide.
That's awesome. And is it okay for members to do business with each other?
Yes. Yes, they can. Now, it's not encouraged necessarily to overdo it,
right?
But a lot of people find jobs, they find new sales leads, they find employees, distributors. It's a network.
That's wonderful. And this is it's not just for the CEO, it's for anybody.
Absolutely. That's a great point. There are some excellent organizations that are really just geared towards CEOs. We have a young professionals group that start right out of college, and we would like to walk with men in the business career through their career and into retirement.
Well, Jeff, we're almost out of time, so final thoughts. What would you like to leave people with?
I would like to leave the thought that if you're looking for a group of people who care about faith and care about business and would like to figure out how to merge those two in their life day to day, come check us out.
Outstanding. You've been a great guest. We're going to go ahead and put the website up to end the segment. CBMC.com is the website. Jeff Swan, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Jeff, thank you for having me.
You bet. You bet. God bless, and we'll see you next time.